G'day, guys. Welcome back to the Steel Syndicate podcast. Sorry for the delay. I was out catching kangaroos, and Owen, where were you?
I was at work, bro. I've been at work for 10
Ah,
hours, man.
that's nothing. Man, yeah, we did have it scheduled for an hour earlier. I don't think one of us we didn't change it either.
I
So we're
did.
kind of no, it was still on 9. It was I don't think you saved it. Oh
Okay.
no, we're having YouTube battles. Oh, they're in a fight. They're gonna break up. Now, what's going on? We got so many people here today. We have Daredevil, we have George, we have Daredevil again in there twice, Steel Girl 808, and us. Alrighty, so let's talk about the preview coming up. But there's some big news straight away,
Yeah.
right? Some big news. We have Minka Fitzpatrick news. Apparently, he was a full practice. What are your thoughts on this so far with Minka Fitzpatrick being a full practice? As I bring up the overlay here.
Okay. Let's have a look. Wow. That's major. I mean, he didn't practice. From what I was, when I was looking earlier, I did a video that I released earlier on my channel that died. And I was talking about Minka Fitzpatrick was out, wasn't he? He didn't practice at all on Wednesday. So that's a major step forward. And I mean, if you consider that Joey Bungle took 2.5 weeks to come back from an appendectomy, appendix problem. I don't know. That's. I mean, perhaps we need to put Minka Fitzpatrick in the same category as TJ Watt. This guy is not human. He's from another planet, maybe.
I
But
get a
it's
feeling
huge.
that he might play. So here's the injury list today for being Thursday night. Najee Harris full, Marcus Allen illness is full, Trent Scott, well he won't be playing, but full. Devin Bush full, he's got a knee, and then Minka Fitzpatrick appendix full practice. Right, Ogunjobi's in there too. He's got a knee limited. Kevin Dotson, they'll probably play. They're limited. The only guy I see that's going to be out is probably Witherspoon hamstring. Did not play. He'll probably be out again. And of course, TJ Watt, Cameron Hayward get some well-deserved rest. They're veterans. They're fine. I'm okay with that. But the big news is Minka Fitzpatrick, full practice. Now, we don't know what the limitations to the practice are exactly, but full practice is pretty big in, that's – you just had surgery, 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago. You missed the game, and he wanted to play that game. Now he could come back versus the Bengals. And if he is like 100% or near 100%, this could be a very hard game for Joe Burrow. Like, let's be honest. Like, this is going to be a game, and we're outsiders. We're like -5 points, I believe, to win this game, or we're not favorite at home again. Bengals coming to town. But if he's back and play some snaps in there, then there's a big chance that the Steelers can take this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just think it's just more. But I mean, if you consider how good this defense was, and Chris a mutant confirmed. Yeah, and if you consider how good the defense was on Sunday, I know it was only the Saints, so everyone keeps saying, but the defense was phenomenal on Sunday. Having Minka back is just a further piece to strengthen it, and the fact that DeMonte KZ was probably one of the best defensive players on the field on Sunday. Add that obviously to the fact that Terrell Edmonds is having a great season. Add that now to Minka being back, we can start to see those 3 safety sets that we've talked about, we've wanted to see for so long. And that's going to help, given the fact that Witherspoon's missing, that William Jackson III is out, those cornerbacks are missing. But having 3 safeties of the class of those 3, I don't think there's a single other team in the NFL that's going to have 3 safeties as good as Minka, DeMonte KZ, and Terrell Edmonds.
And we saw that too for a little bit. We saw that in last week's game against the Saints. I believe Arthur Millette was playing safety or cornerback. He ran all the way for the deep ball, and he ripped the ball out to cause an incompletion, right? I thought, and then we saw Terrell Edmonds was playing a bit more linebacker. And we can have, in certain sets where because hopefully we can see Miles Jack back too. I think he was out injured last week too. If we can see Miles Jack back playing, that'd be fantastic. And him playing, and this defense is going to be what we talked about the whole offseason with the Omar Khan signings. Of course, Ogunjobi now too. But everyone coming back, and it feels like a new start. And what better new start to give this team a real spark and advantage. And of course, TJ Watt by himself is like, mate, TJ Watt by himself can win it. Like, you almost win this game, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, he's a game wrecker. And the fact that he loves sacking Joe Burrow, he loves getting after Burrow. And, Alex Highsmith, Defensive Player of the Week in the AFC last week. He's 8.5 sacks, tied 4th in the NFL. And the fact that, TJ obviously is back. Alex Highsmith is on top form with Cam Hayward. I think Larry Ogunjobi, and I think he was it a limited participant today, but will be back, I think, for some.
I think he was limited. Yes, limited, but he'll play. I reckon he'll play.
Yeah, I think he'll play. I mean, he'll want to play against the Bengals as well, won't he?
Yeah, he will.
Um,
He will definitely.
but I mean, touching on Larry for a minute, I think Ogunjobi has been perhaps one of the unsung heroes of the team this year. I think when he's played, he's been fantastic. He's done a fantastic job, and I think everyone when we signed Ogunjobi was expecting him to be a great pass rusher, but he's actually added to his game this year and been a fantastic run stopper. And I think he's helped the run defense improve. And I think the situation where we're going to have Alex obviously on top form, TJ on top form, Miles Jack back, Devin Bush is now full participant, which is good news. The front three, you've got Cam Hayward, Montravius Adams, and also Larry Ogunjobi, Minka, Terrell, Levi, Cam. That is just, I mean, name me a defense that's as good as that in the NFL.
Well, there's with TJ Watt there really isn't one. They'll say guys like the Bills, they'll say, Ravens defense, but TJ is the X factor. And we welcome Evie Steelers. I believe she might be a new name to the Syndicate, or she may follow us on Steel Australia or your channel too. That's awesome. But let's talk about the game. Let's go through some of the stuff. We're going to make it a bit of a short episode today, maybe make it around half an hour or so. And let's focus in on the game and what needs to happen. And let's stick with the defense. How do they stop? Who's the player on the Bengals offense and they need to stop the most, in your opinion?
Joe Mixon.
I was going to say the same thing.
It's got to be. I mean, if you go back to week one of the biggest stories of success in that game was the fact that we stopped Joe Mixon. The guy hardly had. I mean, I can't remember off the top of my head how many yards the guy had, but he had no run production, very little production out of the backfield. I mean, that's another thing, obviously, with Joe Mixon is his production out of the backfield in terms of his well. But if you go back to week one, the Steelers stopped Mixon and turned them into a one-dimensional team. And as daft as that might sound, on Sunday that's going to be even more important, but given the fact that obviously Jamar Chase is not there, that's Joe Burrow's favorite target. Don't get me wrong, Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins are good receivers, but they're not the same caliber as Jamar Chase. They're not receivers that are going to beat you on their own, like Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, the Dolphins are. So turn them into one-dimensional team. Stop Joe Mixon. That's got to be the top priority of this defense.
Why do you think that the Bengals are favorite in this game once again? We beat them. We beat them in week one. Of course, came down to 2 botched field goals. Came down to the very end. But we're in the game, and pretty much we had a similar offense and defense, right? Well, now it's going to be Kenny Pickett versus Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
But why do you think that the pundits are saying that the Bengals have the upper hand here?
Because the Bengals, have got Burrow, they've got Higgins, they've got Jamar Chase, they've got Joe Mixon. They are the kind of like the media darlings at the moment, aren't they? Because of who they've got, and at the moment it's fashionable, isn't it, to root against the Steelers? The fact that they've only beat the Saints, they're 3-6, they're a poor team, and that's why everyone is saying the Bengals are going to beat us. I mean, here we go. Joe Mixon had 27 carries for 82 yards, 3 yards per carry in that week one. Devil says, and receiving wise, 7 receptions, 63 yards, averaging 9 yards per reception in week one, and that's what we've got to hold him to on Sunday.
Yeah, I get a feeling if they can lock down him at the run game, of course, if they're playing that 3 safety set, if Minka does play, even if he doesn't, I still think they're going to do that same kind of idea where Terrell comes down into the box, help out. If Miles Jack plays too, we got it. The Steelers didn't allow 10 points in the second half without Miles Jack. So Miles Jack in there, I think he'll be back healthy, healthier. Devin Bush is surprising me a little bit this year. He's still kind of like not around the football a lot, but he's not making huge mistakes. He's just kind of a guy on the team. The only real bad thing last week I saw in the defense was Spillane got picked apart. Everything else I thought was fantastic. Like from the schematics of getting Highsmith a chance to go one-on-one with his guy and rush the passer and force fumbles. Like, do you see that kind of game and see how I'm sticking to defense? Because you know why I'm sticking to defense? Because I love the defense and we're wearing the color rush jerseys, which they're going to look sick in. Absolute sick. Do you think Highsmith is going to have a chance to go off this game? I think he will.
Absolutely. I mean, he went. I mean, last game against the Saints, he was two sacks, tackle for a loss, eight. I think it was combined, 8 combined tackles as well. I think it was brought out five assisted, 3 solos. He was phenomenal in the last game, and I was listening to DK this morning, and I think he made an excellent point. I don't know what you think, Mark, but do you think as a fan base we underestimate how good Alex Highsmith is, and the fact that we all put what he achieves too much down to TJ Watt?
Yeah, I agree with that. I saw it was only one. I saw a comment somewhere. It was only one guy though, but this opinion was like, how do you find this opinion? He wanted to release Highsmith next year and go and get someone else. He called him a bust. I was like, what? I was like, you joking? You know?
Yeah.
He wasn't a fan of that. He got all the sacks with TJ, but it doesn't matter if you get them with or without TJ. Of course, there's a bit of a help, but he's his own man, and he's done really quite well in the last few games of like 8.5 sacks. Can get behind the line. You know what? It shouldn't. I don't know. I think even comparing them as a duo should be kind of fun. We
Yeah.
used to compare. We compared, TJ Watt and Bud together. They were fantastic, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, especially when you consider Alex Highsmith in terms of sacks, he's actually only behind Matt Judon of the Patriots, who leads it with 11.5 sacks. And he's a good player, Matt Judon. Don't get me wrong, he is a good player. And I think it's Nick Bosa of the 49ers. Yeah, because Joe Bosa's missed. I remember it's one of the Bosas. I'm presuming it's Nick Bosa of the 49ers, who's got 9.5 sacks this year. He's tied in 4th place with Justin Houston of the Baltimore Ravens. He's up there with some pretty esteemed company if you look at it. And do you know who's missing from that list? Where's Miles Garrett? Sorry, the greatest defensive end in the NFL according to media. So we keep being told on a regular basis. He's nowhere. He's absolutely nowhere. Alex Highsmith is beating him hands down. So yeah, Highsmith needs some credit for what he's achieved.
He's probably the most underrated Steeler player on the defense.
Yeah.
Or even that position is always going to be most underrated because when you have TJ Watt on the other side, you focus on him and then he goes out there and executes plays like he did last week. Forced fumble. He had 2 sacks. So people kind of forget about Highsmith's ability in this defense, right? And that's why it's going to be fun to watch them both chase Burrow around. Don't you agree?
Oh, you know what? I can't wait to see them smash Joe Burrow and rub his face in the dirt. I mean, he's got TJ coming from one side, Alex coming from the other side, Cam Hayward coming, Larry Ogunjobi coming, Miles Jack coming. He's going to be put under pressure. And I don't care how good people say Burrow is. If the guy has constantly got someone in his face, he's going to struggle. Any quarterback's going to struggle. They're going to not panic, but they're going to have less time to go through their reads, less time to throw the ball deep. And that's what the Bengals do. That's what the Bengals do well. Stop Joe Mixon, make him try and throw the ball, and we can stop their offense. We showed week 1 we can do it, and this defense is getting back to that same level. I think the only player of any substantial note who's missing now is DeMarvin Leal.
That's a good point from Daredevil too. TJ in means everyone else is one-on-one at least 90% of the time, right? What are your thoughts on, when we say one-on-one, what are your thoughts on the secondary taking control of the receivers?
I think having TJ back really does help that, because it gives. They're not going to get the fact that these guys are going to get as much chance to go deep because the quarterback's going to have to release the ball quicker. It's going to give obviously Levi, and I thought Levi Wallace and Cam Sutton played really, really well last Sunday, and having Minka back. Probably, I think he will be back. I mean, if he was a full participant today, I cannot see why he will not play on Sunday. And
that's what I'm thinking too, right? Like if he's full participant, there's probably a big chance he's going to play.
Yeah, and also factor in the fact, Mark, that he hates the Bengals.
I'm so excited for this game. Like I know. Okay, here's a funny thing, and I want to talk about this stuff too. We're previewing the game. We've done a bit of that, but the Steelers right now are facing adversity. The fan base, a lot of fan base has checked out already, and they're kind of waiting. I think the fan base is waiting for this game. There's a lot of fans waiting to see if we win, they'll come back. They'll come back. They'll jump on the train. They're ready to go. If we lose, you're going to see the fire Tomlin again. And of course, 3-7 is pretty hard to go to the playoffs from that point. Really hard to go to the playoffs. However, the Steelers win this game. They're 2 games back. If the Patriots lose, I believe they're about 2 games back from the wild card position, right? to me, this is a lot of adversity, and the fan base. Yeah, what are we? 11 weeks in, season's almost over. What are your thoughts on just the overall, the fan base perception right now for this team?
It's divided, I think. You've got the people like we have in our live chat a lot of time who are the eternal optimists that will finish, we'll go unbeaten, we'll finish the season, 11-6 or 11-6, or 10-7, and we'll qualify for the playoffs. And then you've got the element that want us inexplicably to lose and tank because they want us to get a high draft pick. And I think, like I said to you on what we did on Steelers Nation Australia, guys, Mark. Remember, guys, my target, guys, 1K for Mark by Sunday.
Hey, we ain't getting 1K.
We are, Mark. Have faith. Have faith. Have faith. Anything can happen, mate, in a couple of days.
I'm actually thinking about just calling. I'm doing a live stream today on Steel Nation Australia. I'm going to be doing Packers versus Titans. I'm just going to be called. My title's going to be called "Open to Raids." Where other channels can just raid me, and maybe a Tom Grossi or a Urating Tree can be like, "Who's that guy? Open to raids, raid him." And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm getting raided. Oh no, the subs." But look, that's all right. We'll get there. There's a lot of, and also there's a lot of pressure when you put those kind of goals on too. But we'll get there. It's fine. The thing is, I just find funny with this Steelers fan base right now. To me, it's like you and I would be watching the game regardless, right? If we weren't talking about it. I have so much fun talking about it. I love the Steelers stuff around me. I love being part of the community with Daredevil, George, Evie, Steel Girl, everyone, right? It's so much fun talking about it. But the adversity that we face right now is, sure, we lost some games, but now we have a big chance to win. Like I'm telling you, like we'll get to the offense soon, but defensive wise, this team can set the offense up for success, right? And if we can't handle that adversity, then check out and don't watch. But let's move into the offense. What are your thoughts about this offense? Can they improve? And of course, we have to bring up the word Matt Canada, and he played a good game last week. But can they improve from what they did last week?
They've got to. I think they've really got to move forward. Obviously, they're facing a lot tougher defense this week. Obviously, the likes of Trey Hendrickson, etc. Bengals are a better defense than the Saints, and they're a tough team. They are a tough team, but we've got to continue with the work we did last week. We've got to build on that this week. The run game is absolutely fundamental. If we can establish the run game as we did last Sunday, if we can get Najee going, Jalen Warren going, and get those end arounds to the likes of George Pickens to Stephen Sims, etc., then we've got a real opportunity to actually make steps forward. The whole key to establishing the Matt Canada system is the run game, and if we can we can get that run game. Look, I'm a realist. We're not going to run for over 200 yards against the Bengals. That's not a realistic.
Oh, it'd be great though, wouldn't it?
It would be amazing, but I mean, the Saints have got a pretty bad run defense, obviously on lines with what ours was last season. But realistic, if we can get our run offense over 100 yards this week, Harris somewhere similar to where he was last week, Jalen Warren topping that up in like D'Angelo Williams style, and we've got every opportunity to move forward. And the other thing you've got to remember as well is the Bengals have never faced Kenny Pickett. They've only got what footage there is on tape from this year to go on. They don't know this guy. He hasn't got the NFL footage that Trubisky's got. Week 1 they faced Trubisky. Now they're facing something different. They're facing someone who is unknown to them, who can do things that they don't know, who can run better than Trubisky did, who can run better than Ben did last year. This offense is in a position where it can improve, but the key has got to be get that run game going exactly the same as they did against the Saints. If that's there, then it opens up the long passing game. It opens up the passes over the middle to Pat. It opens up so many possibilities for this offense.
What are your thoughts on Kenny's mobility? Do you think it's another X factor that he's building into his game? He did run for 59 yards.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm one who has for a long time now said that we have to get Pickett running the ball as well as passing the ball. I think we need to see design run plays for him in the same way that wash my mouth out for saying this, but that the Ravens do with Jackson, and I know they're a pretty rubbish team, but the Bears did with Justin Fields. Justin Fields is a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. He is a good quarterback, even though his teams suck. that Josh Allen does for the Bills as well, that Patrick Mahomes does sometimes for the Chiefs.
Kenny's pretty fast, man. He's pretty fast. What we saw him running down the field to go and block for Najee Harris. And that big run for 23 yards, he was very smart too with his body and the football.
Yeah, they've got to do, I think design run plays for Pickett is something that, and as well, if you put in designed run plays by Pickett, it puts the defense on warning. It puts them on the back foot, because at the end of the day, they don't know that, you know, if plays break down, is Pickett going to take off? And if he takes off, how are we going to stop him? And that's another thing. You know, if you've got a quarterback who has excellent mobility, like Josh Allen, like Lamar Jackson, like Justin Fields, like Justin Herbert, for example, then you are in a position where you can scare the opposition, because they don't know what that quarterback is going to do. If his reads aren't open, if the run play is not, he's going to take off and he's going to run. And that's something that puts the defense on the back foot constantly.
As long as Kenny's smart about it and of course protects his body for his own being and the Steelers team as well, don't put yourself on the line. But Ike Taylor on Believe in Steelers Network, he talked about it with Mark Bergen, you know, and everyone knows this. Once you can run as a quarterback, then it's 11 on 11. You don't have to mark your man, right? But we got some funny comments in the live chat around. This is why we love doing it. That's why I love doing it. So Rick says he heard that Roethlisberger is going to be selling popcorn in the stadium on Sunday. And then he backed it up to saying he's going to be fired because he's not very immobile, you know. So, you know, I don't know what's going on there. G'day, Rick. Welcome to the show. Also, Steeler Chick 46 says, had the Pigeons been lined up for Sunday? And then breaking news, Daredevil says, no, the Pigeons took a vet day off. You guys make this show, man. You guys make this show. It's so funny. Like, your goal is to when we're talking about something really serious, I would say, you know, we read the comment and go, what did they just say?
Yeah, I know. It's good, isn't it? Daredevil, I love that comment. The Pigeons had a vet day off today.
Apparently you have too. I read the article as well that they're not putting down bird seed or grass seed this week or something, so they won't be there. I don't know why I don't know. There's something funny with that ground, I guess, but apparently they're not going to be there, but they might still turn up anyway. I don't know.
Yeah.
But look, I don't want to put all this into Pigeons, right? This is what Steelers fans do as well. If the Pigeons don't show up and we lose, who are we blaming? The Pigeons.
The Pigeons.
So, and of course, the also spectacular uniforms. We're 7-1 in those uniforms. I'm kind of glad we have a loss, though. You know what I mean? There's no like, you know, that 8-0 feeling or that 11-0 feeling when you have the win streak, and no matter what it is, what streak it would be. Yeah. And we're 7-1, but this to me, do you think there's a bit of power in those uniforms where they do have a bit of an advantage? I don't think they're going to look absolutely phenomenal. And of course, as well, you're versing the Bengals wearing the white stripes, looking like zebras too. You know.
And what happens to zebras, Mark?
Well, they're the bottom of the food chain.
Yeah, they get eaten by lions. And that's the thing, you know. TJ Watt is a lion. He's coming after Joe Burrow. He's going to make them look like zebras. That's one thing that makes me laugh. The Bengals with the we're white Bengal tigers or snow tigers or whatever they say they are. You don't. You look like a bunch of zebras, and the Steelers are the lions. We're going to eat you. We're going to eat you up, guys.
I'll be honest. Like if you look at uniforms, if you were to ask a non-football fan what is most threatening, what is most dominant or most powerful, you'd choose the black and gold uniform over the white stripes. Would you not?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like they're clean cut. Sure, they look clean cut, but the black and gold is more dominant.
Yeah, absolutely. The black and gold looks. I mean, okay, I haven't got a color rush, but if you look at this is obviously the black and gold jersey here. It looks so much more. It looks better, doesn't it? It just looks dominant. It looks scarier.
Yeah, it's all class, and I think as well with the white striped helmets, you kind of have to play. It was like when the Bucks had that really old bad uniform. The cream uniform, and they went terrible in it. In that kind of uniform, you have to play good to shake that off. But Jay Carter says here, blaming Matt Cannon for not putting out the bird feed. I guess it was his job. You know?
Yeah, he's got to get something right, hasn't he? It's because you know what it is, Mark. It's because when Steelers are lining up for an offensive play, the pigeons are constantly moving, aren't you? So they're constantly in motion, aren't they? The
Their
pigeons.
emotion, they're going to get penalised.
Illegal shift downfield.
Look, Matt Canada's got enough time. Let's be honest. He's on his playbook. It actually was you know what? Shout out to him. You know the best thing I liked about, and here's a question to come back to the offense. Do you think that he's going to be involved the same amount of players he involved last week? You know, the Warrens, the Sims, even Boykin was out there. Didn't get targeted too much, but he was still out there. Do you think in the end, the Haywoods, do you think they're going to involve more players?
Yeah, 100%.
I hope so.
I think if you look back at coming out of the bye week and you look at the comments made by the likes of Najee Harris, obviously, for example, I think Deontay Johnson said something similar as well. They all talked about the fact that it was a week to take stock. It was a week to reevaluate. It was a week to make Mason Cole. Sorry, it was another one, wasn't it? To make adjustments. It was a week to reset. I think that was the biggest word that came out of that week. That the bye week for me was, I think, you know, Mason Cole and Najee Harris both used that word, reset. And I think the offense has reset to some degree. Now, do I think everything's okay? No, I don't think everything's okay. Look, Steeler Nation, I am not sitting here saying Matt Canada is wonderful. I am not sitting here saying that everything is fixed and everything is forgiven. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, I think Harris, Cole, Johnson are right. There has been a bit of a reset. And like you said, Mark, I think they are involving more people and using a greater scheme now and seeing the success of that. And hopefully, we will see that again on Sunday, that they will see, you know, a run game established. The ball will be spread round by Kenny Pickett to Deontay, to Chase Claypool, to Stephen Sims, to Miles Boykin, to Pat Freiermuth, to Connor Haywood, all those different people. Look, at the end of the day, look, no matter what you think of Matt Canada and what you think of Kenny Pickett as well, because I know there's some Steeler fans that don't like Kenny Pickett, but you look at the offense, the weapons we have on the offense compare with the Bengals. Everyone talks about Mixon. They talk about Tyler Boyd. They talk about T. Higgins. They talk about Hayden Hurst. I'm leaving Jamar Chase out because obviously he's out. But for Hayden Hurst, Pat Freiermuth, who's better? Pat Freiermuth. For T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, read Deontay Johnson, George Pickens. For Joe Mixon, read Najee Harris. And who's Joe Mixon's backup? Is he as good as Jalen Warren?
I don't even know. I'm not even sure.
He's not as good. And you look beyond Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins. Who is there? Well, we've got Sims, we've got Boykin, who, in my opinion, are better receivers than whatever they've got. So we've got the weapons. I think this offense is in a position where it can kick on. And like I said to you, I'm not sitting here and I'm not saying everything's fixed. I'm not saying Matt Canada's perfect. I'm not saying this offense is perfect. But what I am saying is the fact that it is taking small steps forward. And if it continues to do that on Sunday, it puts us in a great position to actually win on Sunday.
So the backup to Mixon is Samaji P. Ryan.
P. Ryan.
Never heard of him too much. But Chris Evans, a rookie, and Travion Williams. So to me, there isn't really a backup, really. I haven't really heard of that guy's name fair bit. So I don't know. What do you reckon?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, can I say there's one comment in the live chat I fundamentally disagree with there. Is it Rick? I can't say the guy's second name. Hurst can run over any Steeler on the field. Absolutely wrong.
Rick's a Bungle fan. Welcome to the Bungle, mate. Should I play? I feel like this is just for Rick. Hang on a minute. Sorry to cut you off, Owen. Rick, stick around for a minute. My finger slipped. Oh, jeez. On the... Oh, I almost fell off. How do I get on there? Oh! Oh, fuck! Did you throw that? Oh, my Jesus!
That's funny.
Oh,
you're right there, Mark.
It warms my heart, Rick. Rick warms my heart. No, he's a good sport. He said he loves it. He loves it. That might be the first time. That might be the first time we swore on the syndicate by default.
Can I just say, Rick, whatever you're drinking, my friend, put it down. Or whatever you're smoking, because I know there's different rules in America for things like that. Put it down. It's obviously altering your mind to such a point where you're not thinking in a sensible, logical manner. Hayden Hurst, cannot run over TJ Watt. TJ Watt will annihilate him. He cannot run over Alex Highsmith. Terrell Edmonds will annihilate him. Minka Fitzpatrick will annihilate him. Hayden Hurst, when we beat you 23-20, where was he? What did he do? He didn't do anything. Whatever. Guy's a loser. End of. End of.
Man. Hey, I think Rick's going to defend himself here, but he's been a good sport. Everyone's been a good sport too. And you know what? It takes a lot of guts coming to a Steeler chat and saying what's up. I thought he was a Steeler fan from the beginning, but we're here to talk about the Steelers versus Bengals, and hopefully you guys enjoyed that little Red Dead Redemption 2. That was my own gaming, so I put that together. I love playing that because the music's fire, and the thing blows up, and the thing goes over, and the Bengals are 0-3 in Super Bowls. Oh man, and I do think, and there's a lot of pressure on Rick and these Bengals, right? What are they on? 5-4, right?
Yeah, 5-4.
You were the Super Bowl last year. Now you're 5-4. You lost against the Steelers. All the pressure is on you. On the Bengals right now, Joey Burrow for sure, right? How do you think this game is going to, how's it going to begin? If we get the ball, do we have a big chance to go down the field and set the standard? Because I think the crowd's going to be crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean the crowd will be bang up for it. The teams to be bang up for it. Look, we beat them week 1, okay, and I think week 1 would have been very, very different had we had an offense that could move the ball. I don't think it would have come down to those two missed field goal, missed extra point. I don't think the Bengals would have been anywhere near close to us at the end of the game had we had an offense that could move the ball. 7 turnovers. I think that we can have that. We can set that expectation. We can go straight down the field and put points on them. Definitely.
Love it. Burrow Home Alone. He does look a bit like Home Alone, doesn't he?
He does. It's Macaulay Culkin's tweet. I mean, you never see Macaulay Culkin and Joe Burrow in the same place at the same time, do you?
No, it might have been him. But apparently too in the news as well that there was more Bengals news out there that he's decided or said that they won't be throwing any picks. What are the chances that Joe Burrow throws a pick?
Very high.
I think it's high this week. He threw 4.
Yeah, if Minka's back on Sunday and we run 3 safety sets, it leaves Minka solely free to watch Joe Burrow and pick him off. The guy's going to eat him alive. Levi Wallace had a great game last week.
He did.
Cam Sutton had a good game. Terrell Edmonds is bang on form. DeMonte KZ, I thought, was phenomenal last Sunday. I genuinely think that the Bengals fans are absolutely deluded. I really do, coming into this game thinking, Steelers are going to be able to
here's the thing. If we're Bengals fans, right? Your best player is Jamar Chase, right?
Yeah.
You haven't got Jamar Chase. So who are they going to target? Who is going to move the football down the field? Now, is he going to be linking up with Hayden Hurst? Is he going to be linking up with Tyler Boyd? I just think this offense is take away 10 points, take away 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
How many points do you think the Bengals offense is going to score? I think it's going to be very low.
Yeah.
I think 17, absolutely. Maybe 17, 20, the highest.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. If someone said to me now, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, to Hayden Hurst, swap them for George Pickens, Deontay Johnson, Pat Freiermuth, I'd say no, thank you. Freiermuth is better than Hurst. George Pickens is better than both of the Bengals wide receivers put together. Deontay Johnson, okay, is probably about the same sort of standard as them, but I wouldn't swap them. I would not swap George Pickens for either Tyler Boyd or T. Higgins, and I would not swap Pat Freiermuth for Hayden Hurst. Freiermuth is 10 times the tight end that Hayden Hurst is. 10 times.
Also, I just found out too, I went on to the injury report. So, of course, here's the Cincinnati Bengals. Jamar Chase did not play. Dax Hill did not play. And you might know these names. I don't overly know these names. I don't really follow the Bengals too much besides, the 0-3 record in the Super Bowl. Josh Tupu is calf, did not play. So if you're not playing now, you're pretty much going to be out, right? That's I think that's the standard. Deontay Smith illness, offensive tackle out. So you got a D tackle out, and offensive tackle out. Chris Evans knee limited play. Trey Flowers limited play. I can't even pronounce this dude's name. Has he got a first name or a last name? Liel, full practice, and Mike Hilton finger full practice. So Hilton will be there for sure. But to me, the big names are Jamar Chase is out. Like that, we knew this coming into the game too. So it should be advantage Steelers, right?
Yeah, and I think Chidobe Awuzie, whatever he's called, Chunky Awuzie, whatever he's called, Chunky Woozie. He's not obviously playing either, is he? I think he's on IR at the moment. So they've lost, their best cornerback there. Awuzie is their best cornerback. Hilton. Don't get me wrong. I love Mike Hilton. He's an ex-Steeler. I do like Mike Hilton, but the guy wasn't even our best cornerback when he was at the franchise, was he? He was third, fourth down the line.
He was good for our system, though. He was one of my favorite players. I think he would be fantastic in this defense.
Yeah,
he would love it.
But he's not a coverage corner. He's not an outside coverage corner that the Bengals has, and that's how the Bengals use him. That's not what he's good at. We used him in the slot. We used him to blitz. That's what we used him for. We didn't use him to cover because we knew he got burned in coverage. And Rick, whatever the guy's name is, I can't say the guy's name. Rick Shop, I'll call him. That's why they call this a talk show. All you guys can do is talk. Rick, I'm sorry, mate, but you're 0-3 in Super Bowls. You have got a losing record against the Steelers overall. You lost the last game. Seriously, man, just shut up.
No, let's put that on. If we don't talk, Rick, pretty boring, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. You were being cool. Now you're like on the fence and not being cool. But that's what the Bengals do because they ain't cool. They're 0-3 in Super Bowls. Took you 31 years to win a playoff game. Come on, man. You can't tell me that if you look at the game, right? If you actually look at the game, the Bengals fans should be freaking out about that. TJ Watt's back. DeMonte Carr's playing better. Highsmith is going off, and Cameron Hayward's there. Are you joking? Are you joking? Come on, man.
Can I just say as well, the comment that guy's just posted, I actually find that really insulting.
Which one?
The comment that Rick Shop or whatever he's called, or Shuff or Shoopy.
This one, the Reader one?
Yeah. If read it back, the new steel curtain is in Cincy. Mate, don't even go there. Don't even go there. You're saying that your joke of a football team, your comedy club of a football team is comparable with Mean Joe Green, Mad Dog, Dwight Holmes, LC Greenwood. I'm sorry, mate, but you are deluded. You are absolutely deluded.
Well, what about the 2008 defense as well with Lawrence Timmons, Farrier, James Debo Harrison?
Hang on,
you name it.
What's the number you have to ring to get medical attention in the USA? Because this guy needs to be carted off to the funny farm. He needs to be taken away tonight to some mental institution because he's quite clearly completely unstable. Seriously.
I think he's doing it on purpose, and what we're saying is right, taking the piss.
Rick, in the UK, mate, if you lived in where I live, mate, you'd be in the Caledon Centre with all the other Looney Tunes and Fruit Loops in a straitjacket tonight because you are just unhinged, mate. You're unhinged. That last comment, steel curtain. Come off.
They don't have any curtain. I don't know what kind of curtains they have, like red, like orange drapes or whatever. I don't know.
They have net curtains like a bunch of old people. I'm sorry.
Hey. We are turning this into more of the Rick show, but I guess it's kind of funny. I hope you're happy Sunday night. We will be happy Sunday night. It'll be our Monday morning. Look, to be very honest, this game is, we thought coming into the off season, the season week 1, it was going to be 50-50, right? We both said that was going to be 50-50. To me, this is a game where it is, again, 50-50. You haven't got your best player, being Jamar Chase. O-line struggles. You got sacked 7 times last time the Steelers played you. The Steelers know how to play you. Of course, you got 2 games last year. Fair enough. That was the run you went on to go and get your first playoff victory in 31 years. We have, we have a good defense with TJ Watt, Highsmith, these guys. They're all coming back. They don't want to lose. And of course, and I'm telling you right now, they don't want to lose in this black and gold color rush uniform. They don't want to do it. It's not going to happen. We had the black Air Force Ones that were bought, right? Mike Tomlin. This is a game that you don't even really need to be that amped up about. Just walk past. If I was a player, walk past TJ Watt, walk past Cameron Hayward, and give him the old nod, and you should be ready to go. Like, this has got to be on fire. They're lucky that it's not even prime time. But I think in the Steelers case too, we're lucky that I kind of like it going one game back and not as much pressure, right? It's just a 4 p.m. game. You're wearing the white uniforms. We're wearing the clean black and gold uniforms. It's time to go. Okay. I think the best part is having the Bengals being favorite, right? Because what have we got to lose? We're an awful team. We're a bad team. But we're going to come out there and you have to deal with TJ Watt. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Can I just say I agree 100% with what George Testing says in the live chat.
I think here it is. Rick says, sorry, Mr. Hammer says, nothing you can say can hurt as long as we have to watch Matt Canada's offense play. Exactly right. Matt Canada's offense is awful. We know we're a bad team. You know what I'm saying? But the Bengals team in reality were being bad for 30 years or 20 years, right? And everything's been happening like it's been going awful for them. But we can see that. You guys are like, you got so close to the Super Bowl, you thought you're going to win it, and then it was see you later, mate. It was done.
Absolutely. I mean, that's 100% right. I mean, and do you know what I've got to say about the Bengals as well is, remember this, guy, to the Bengals fans, you actually gave up the most points of any NFL team against Matt Canada's offense.
Really?
Well, 23 points, isn't it? That's the most we've scored all season. That's the highest number of points we've scored this season. And the Bengals gave up 23 points against Matt Canada's offense. To be honest with you, the Bengals, I think, in my opinion, and I know this show is turning a bit of a Bengals slaughtering session, but I don't really care. But I watched the Bengals play the Browns that Thursday night game. The Bengals are nothing special. They're nothing special. They're probably the most overhyped team in the AFC by a mile. I mean, they're not even in the same class as the Dolphins, the Bills, the Chiefs. They're not even in the same conversation as those guys. And if this Steeler defense turns up on Sunday and plays like it did week 1 and plays like it potentially can, they're going to shut down this Bengals offense because this Bengals offense is not as good as everyone says it is. That's a fact. It's just a fact.
Okay, so coming back to the offense too, and we'll start to round up very shortly, but I do have a surprise at the end. What are your thoughts on the Steelers' offensive line? How do we get it done against the Bengals defense? Can we keep it up? Can we get better? We can't allow 6 sacks, right? We can't allow 6 sacks. How do we get better?
I think we've got to use a lot of 12 and 13 personnel on Sunday. I think we've got to see Gentry push towards the left-hand side of the line to aid with blocking. I think we've got to see that. That's a must. That is an absolute must for me because that is where the weakness is on this Steeler offensive line. I'm not worried about James Daniels. I'm not worried about Chuks Okorafor. I think Chuks is solid. He's not great, but he's solid, isn't he? And James Daniels has done well as he's grown throughout his time with the Steelers. The left-hand side of the line is a problem. It is a problem. Dan Moore is an awful left tackle. Kevin Dotson has stank this year, but I think what's obviously kept Kevin Dotson in the team is the fact that Kendrick Green is his backup, and that's, when you Kendrick Green's your backup, you're fairly safe in your job. But I think we've got to use Gentry to a lot of 12 and 13 personnel, put him out there to block, even to some degree, put Freiermuth out there to help block Haywood. That is one of the keys we've got to do. Put some support onto that left-hand side of the line.
Big time. And we're getting to the end of the show, so if you guys want to put your questions in, Rick's going off his rocker right now. The only way you can win is the immaculate receptions. Look, you know what? It doesn't matter because your team can't win anything. And the best thing is you have so much pressure as a Bengal fan base. You have the ability, I think, to go to the Super Bowl. Well, we don't, right? We don't really care right now. We just want to win games, right? We don't care. But we have the better team. TJ Watt's coming back. But guys, put some questions in the chat, and I've got a surprise for you at the very end to get around to it.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say, Owen, about this game?
I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great game. I think the colour rush obviously will add to it. And I think the Steelers are banging this game. And I think the biggest thing that puts us banging this game is that defense. Like I said to you, you name me a defense that in the NFL that is as good as what we've got out there. Minka, Terrell, Larry Ogunjobi, Cam Haywood, Alex Highsmith, Miles Jack, TJ Watt. Name me another defense that's as loaded as that in this AFC.
Right on. Do you have any score predictions for this game?
I'm going to go for 27-20 Steelers.
20 what? 27?
27-20.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to go for a higher score, I believe, because the Color Rush games have a bit of a power behind them. I think this might be a game we see George Pickens go up. I think it might be a game we actually get the first TD beyond 8 yards. I believe we get a 30-yard pass or something like that. I'm going to go 31-13. I actually think the defense is going to carve them up, to be very honest, right?
Yeah.
If anyone's got any more questions, we have here we go. So we are. Oh, it's a big question. I disagree with this 100%. So Mr. Hammersley says we're rebuilding ins are supposed to be contenders. Come on now, why can't we be contenders? This is the point I'm saying. Like if you're going to cheer the team to lose, and you want to be in a rebuilding, but the guys, we are rebuilding, retooling, but you can't just scrap everything. To me, if you win this game, you're 2 games away from the playoffs. I'm always going to hope for the team to win, no matter what.
The Pittsburgh Steelers don't rebuild. That's not the way this franchise works. We don't tank.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, I mean, we don't. I mean, I know that's a game of Hammers Mapper, but I think overall there are some Steeler fans that do make that point that we know this is a rebuild, yeah, etc., etc. The Steelers don't do rebuilding. That's not what they do. They retool, don't they?
I understand this question. Yeah, I stuffed this question up. So basically, we're going through a process, and they're meant to be on the cusp of like winning championships. Joe Burrow's a guy, Jamar Chase's a guy. I fully get the question now. But we have Drunk Turkey in here too. And Keith's even laying the smack down too. Let's go. We have 6 guys. That's true. They have 0. They've never won one. Now think about that. The fan base has never won one. Like you can. That's amazing. This is great. Hammer Time says 23-13. And this is incredible. Incredible.
It's not. I mean, I'm seriously. I'm actually really worried about this guy. I mean, Rick, which state are you in? Because I'm going to call him.
Who do we call?
I mean, if you're in Ohio, if you're in Ohio, I do understand Ohio is a very deluded, demented state with very, very, very weird people in it, and I'll let you off then because Ohio is one of the weirdest states in the union. I get that, but if you're not in Ohio, let me know. I'll contact a mental health professional for you. I'll get someone to call you tonight. Okay.
We'll help you out. We're here to help, man. We're all about men's mental health. Drunk Turkey shows I went 27-20 for TDs.
I said, yeah.
And still go 27-21. George Chesson 27-21. The Bengals are 0-3. 0-3. All right. And exactly right. This is all fun, man. But at the end of the day, we've won Super Bowls and you haven't. Now, I do have a special guest flying in from Pittsburgh, Owen. Yeah. Flying all the way from Pittsburgh. And look who it is. Our mate. Oh, jeez, Louises. It's I can't even describe what's going on there. But from what it seems like is the Pigeons are not too fond of Joe Burrow, are they?
No, they're not, mate. They're not very fond of Joe Burrow. I like that, Mark. That's cool, mate. Guys, Rick says he's in Austin, Texas. So Texas, obviously, that's where we need to get some mental health professionals. So I know our good mate Daniel lives in Texas.
Yeah, we'll get Daniel.
Daniel, can you get to Austin? Daniel, please, can you make a phone call for us, please? There is someone in Austin, Texas, who needs some mental health support. So, State, it's down to you, buddy. Can you get this guy some help?
Oh, this is funny too, right? This is funny as well. The Bills are 0-4, and they lost 4 in a row. I can't even imagine the fan base. Like, imagine going to 4 Super Bowls in a row and you don't win one. You don't win one of them. You know what I mean? But the Bengals are the same thing. I don't know. Who did they lose to? Do you remember they lost to the San Fran 49ers, right?
Twice. They've lost the 49ers twice and once to the Rams, obviously.
The Rams,
I mean, the time they lost to the 49ers was this is one of the reasons I mean 88 was the first season I actually started watching NFL football, and I remember watching that Super Bowl, and I remember Joe Montana throwing the winning touchdown pass to John Taylor and the Bengals losing again to the 49ers. It was very funny.
Well, it's good. Well, guys, I've got nothing else to add besides that. So thank you everyone for coming into the chat. It has been a pleasure. It's been really fun ripping on Rick's team, and I can't wait to see to see us. I think we have a chance to win. I'm telling you, it's 50-50. The team's going to show up. If the pigeons are there or not, it doesn't matter because this graphic is still great. Holy dooly. Oh, sugar. Any final thoughts, Owen, before we get out of it? It's been a fun show.
Yeah, definitely. I'm psyched. I really am looking I am looking forward to the game on Sunday. I really am. And I think the colour rush just adds to it. You know, the fact that we're under lights. I think it's going to be a great game. I really do think it'll be a good game. And I think the Steelers have got every opportunity to win this game, and mainly because of that defense. That defense, like I said, is one of the best in the NFL, bar none.
Yeah, big time. And even Jay kind of says it's going to be a tough game, but we need to score more than 30 than 20 points. 100%, right? It's going to be a really tough game, but I see that I think we're in this. The offense is getting better every week.
Yeah.
As much as the Matt Canada stuff is like kind of yeah, whatever. But he called a good game. And I believe TJ Watt in a color rush uniform, all the other guys, they don't want to see Burrow. Like, have you noticed the personal vendetta between TJ Watt and Burrow the last few years?
Yeah, there seems to be
he hates him.
Yeah.
He absolutely hates him.
Well,
like every chance he gets, he tries to knock him out.
Yeah, and Minka hates it. Minka hates him as well. Minka hates the Bungles. If you listen to what Minka's got to Minka, he absolutely hates them.
I'm done. I'm so done. I'm so done. I'm so done. I'm beyond done. I'm so done. Like, that's the best comment ever. I'm so done. Color Rush Pigeons. Here we go, guys. The Bungles are 0-3. Thank you for checking out another episode of the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate and the Steelers Syndicate podcast. That was a fantastic episode. We'll end it on this. Jadell says Color Rush Pigeons. I love that. Yeah. I can't even. All right. Thanks, Owen, mate. I'll see you later. Thank you guys in the live chat. You guys are awesome. That was one of the funnest ones we've done in a long time. And to some extent, thank you, Rick, but your team's terrible. All right. See you guys later. As always, here we go, Steelers. Here we go.